What's going on behind the scenes and off the microphone at the Magic Word podcast? Hear what listeners and guests are saying that isn't on the podcast this week on The Magic Whisper.
Hello, this is Scott Wells for The Magic Whisper. This week, we are approaching Thanksgiving, but we have a few things to report of news during this past week. First of all, John Apperson, who was a past national president of the Society of American Magicians, had passed away. Also, Nate Bargatze had a television show that aired, and he's got two more coming up around Christmas. Actually, Stephen Bargatze also will be on TV coming up in May with his own special. Erik Dobell has the Impossibilities show in Gatlinburg that's ending an 8-year run. And as I said, Thanksgiving week is going to be observed here in the U.S. And also, we're going to have a brief podcast this Thursday, which was generated by artificial intelligence. First up, as I mentioned, that John Apperson had passed away. He was a past national president of the Society of American Magicians in 2004 and 2005. He was from Granite City. He was very involved with the Shriners. He used to drive some of the sick, I guess, from the St. Louis area up to Chicago and back. And he was very involved for many decades with the Shriners. And in fact, there was a funeral service that was held at the Masonic Lodge on the 24th of November in his honor. He was 82 years old, but he passed peacefully at home and had many friends and was very involved, obviously, in magic in many ways before and after his presidency at the SAM. So we mourn his passing. He was a great friend to magicians, and we're sorry for his widow and family. Sorry, Virginia. And also, we just want to take some time to express our condolences. Nate Bargatze is a name who is gaining more and more popularity everywhere you turn. It seems that there is something in the Bargatze world where he's got his own podcast world. He's hosting Saturday Night Live. He is on Netflix, and he's on nationwide tours, and da-da-da-da-da. He's just very busy and very successful as a comedian. If you have not seen or heard any of his comedy, you should. He is amazing. And you're going to have a couple of opportunities coming up, because I was just talking with his father, Stephen Bargatze, who, by the way, also is a past president of the International Brotherhood of Magicians. And he was telling me that when they just recently recorded something that is going to be the Nate Bargatze Nashville Christmas special that is coming up. I think he said on CBS either around the 19th or 20th of December. So check your local listings again on CBS. Stephen said that this was recorded again at the Grand Ole Opry there in Nashville, has a lot of people who are stars who are in this, plus some surprise guests. Apparently Darius Rucker is one of the guests who sings. It's an hour-and-a-half special, kind of in the old style of when Bing Crosby and Perry Como and others used to have their television Christmas specials. And in fact, Stephen did some magic. He said, I was doing my Sponge Bunnies, Double Cross, Chicago opener. And so he was entertaining some of the performers and the guests around there while the camera was recording that. So you'll probably get to see some snippets of Stephen performing some magic there for the Christmas special then as well. It was co-written, I guess, by some of the Saturday Night Live crew. If you recall his recent appearance on Saturday Night Live, in which he was George Washington, you'll recall that famous scene when he was in the boat and he was naming things. Well, there's going to be a similar kind of thing that was so popular and successful that's specially written for him that'll be on this special coming up. Not only that, he had recorded another special that when he was in Phoenix, and this is going to be, I think, from his Be Funny tour, and it's going to be a special showing up on Netflix. I believe that that's supposed to be broadcast for the first time or streamed on Christmas Eve, so you can have a chance to watch his his special that will be on Netflix. That will be coming up again Christmas Eve, which is different from his Nashville Christmas special. He just recently also, just this past weekend, was on Turner News on the TNT channel on the golf match, and he was with some other celebrities, and so that was another kind of a fun thing. As I said, Nate seems to be about every place. And if that's not enough, then you're going to be hearing more about Stephen Bargatze, because Stephen will have his own special that's coming up in May. It's going to be on television. I'm not sure if it's going to be on a streaming service or if it's going to be on a network, but he's going to be doing magic. And I understand that they will soon be selling tickets for that show, so you can be in the audience as they record that. So that should be some fun. Again, supposed to be filmed soon and then broadcast in May. So that's kind of an exciting thing that's coming up. Erik Dobell has been performing the Impossibilities show in Gatlinburg, Tennessee for the past 8 years. And he has just sent out a notification saying on November the 7th, Erik Dobell of the Impossibilities Magic Show learned that the Gatlinburg Space Needle would not be renewing their contract, making December 31st, 2024, their final appearance for this theater. But don't worry, this isn't the end for the Impossibilities show. Erik and Chris Collins are already in discussion with another new venue that they're really thrilled about the opportunities ahead. The future is bright, and we can't wait to share what's going to be next for us and for you. So, if you have a chance to get to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, be sure and check out Erik's show before that ends, again at the end of this year on December 31st. I mentioned that this is Thanksgiving week, and typically I don't post a podcast on Thanksgiving, giving all of the listeners an opportunity to spend time with their family, having food, fellowship, and football, all the 3 F's over there, and 4, I guess, family, football, friendship, and football. There we go, 4 F's, not the 4F convention. Anyhow, so that's going to be coming up on Thursday here in the United States. And again, typically I don't. However, I just ran into something just recently, thanks to my friend John Gaspard, who is the author of the Eli Marks detective series, who's about a magician, Eli Marks. Highly recommend that. He's got a great podcast called Behind the Page. And as I was listening to that, he mentioned a podcast, actually, that was mentioned by David Williamson, that was called Notebook LM, in which you can plug in anything and it will make a podcast for you, 2 people talking. And it sounds very organic. It's great. And it's fairly short. So it's about 13, 14 minutes that I had just put this thing in, and it generated quickly. So I thought, what the heck? It'll be kind of fun. It'll be short. And so this coming week, we're going to share that with you, which I think you might enjoy. Here's just a short snippet. Keep in mind that these voices are just AI generated.
He is a man of many talents.
Many talents and many passions.
Yeah, it really paints a picture of him, not just the magician, but the person behind it all.
It does. And it makes you wonder, what drives someone like that? What fuels that seemingly endless energy and enthusiasm?
Well, stay tuned, because we're about to dive into just we're going to explore the deeper motivations behind Scott's work and how his legacy continues to shape the world of magic today. We've covered so much. But I keep thinking, what's at the heart of all this for Scott?
Yeah.
Like, why magic? Why this drive to connect people?
It's a great question. And I think part of the answer lies in his own words. He once said, magic is the one art form where the audience wants to be lied to. There's this inherent desire in us, right?
Yeah.
To believe in the impossible. And Scott taps into that.
Is that wild or what? I don't know what to say. But that's amazing what AI can do nowadays. So anyhow, that's going to be coming up this coming Thursday. And I do wish each and every one of you a very happy Thanksgiving. And I personally want to give thanks to all of you for watching this video on The Magic Whisper, for contributing your thoughts from time to time and any news bits that you happen to have. Also for listening to the Magic Word podcast. I appreciate you sharing and subscribing and liking this Magic Whisper, and also helping by subscribing to the pod letter on themagicwordpodcast.com. So this way you keep up to date with what's going to be going on from week to week. It's been great. I've had a lot of fun doing this, and this is coming up on episode number 872. This last week was with Fred and Bobby Becker talking about doing magic on cruise ships and what it's like on the high seas, and also what it's like starting to age as a magician after they've been there for so many decades, particularly as a female performer, as Bobby is. It was a very interesting and lovely opportunity I had to chat with them, and I hope that you enjoyed that podcast too. I've had a couple of phone calls from people who particularly enjoyed that particular podcast. Well, that's going to be a wrap, I think, here for this week. Had a lot of fun recording this. I also want to thank my executive producer, Tom Vorjahan, who had given me a few tips about some of the things that we reported here this week. And if you happen to have any ideas on any news tips or something that you hear that you think the rest of the magic community might like to hear, please drop me a note, scott@themagicwordpodcast.com, and I'll be glad to share your whisper next time.
Share the whisper with other magicians and join us next time on The Magic Whisper. The Magic Whisper is a division of the magicwordpodcast.com.